Good morning, friends. We are learning our subject Machine Learning 3170724. And in that, we are learning our module 2, that is Preparing to Model. So, previous lecture, we have seen the scatter plot as well as we can say cross tabulation, right? We have seen the cross tabulation, right? Scatter plot we have seen or not? Oh, scatter plot was remaining. Fine, fine. No issue. We'll see that a bit later. We have started with data quality and remediation, right? We have started with data quality and remediation. Now for that, we can say success of machine learning algorithm depends on the quality of data, right? And in supervised learning, it is not realistic to expect flawless data. At least two types of problems can be there. That is, certain data elements without value, and we can say data elements are having values that are surprisingly different from other values, and they are called as outliers. For reasons like incorrect sample collection, or we can say errors in the data collections, we can have such errors, right? And for that, we have started with the data quality and remediation, isn't it? So what should be there? Remediation is the act of correcting an error or stopping something bad from happening. The problems in data quality is remediated by what? One is by handling the outliers, and second is missing values, right? Once outliers are detected, amendment is to be there. So how we can do that? That is using remove outliers, imputation and capping. Three things are there. For handling the missing values, what do we have? That is eliminate records having missing values, imputing missing values, or estimate the missing values. Fine. Now let us see these things in detail. Now, say remove outliers. If outliers records are not too many, remove them. What do we mean by that? If say we are having total 100 records. Now from that, if say 5 records are having the outliers, we can remove them, right? But if from 100 records, we can say if 40 are having the outliers, can we remove them? No, we should not. So is it the percentage being defined here that we should have say greater than 30% outlier, then we should remove them, or 40% outlier, then we should remove them? No, there is no such rule available. It depends on your data, it depends on your application, right? You may find the percentage of outliers. Percentage means percentage of records with outliers, right? So say if 5 records are having the outliers, we can say 5 by 100, that is total 100 records are there, right? So we can say how much is 5% of records are having the outliers, right? So for your own application, you can decide that how much outliers you want to allow. So if they are not too many, we can remove them, right? If they are not too many, we can remove them. Fine. Okay. Now, this is about removing the outliers. Now, second one is imputation. What is that? The values can be imputed using mean, median, mode, or most similar data element. What do we mean by that? For that, we can say null value is there, right? What do we mean by the, we are having the outlier, right? That is the, we are having the value which is greater than, or you can say less than the normal values, right? Normal behavior of the data is say from the range that is say 50 to 100. For example, normal range is say 50 to 100 and our data is having the value say 5. If our data is having the value that is say 150, now this is outlier, right? This is considered as the outlier because this is the normal range. Normal range of the data is 50 to 100. This is our data, which is the outlier because it is outside the normal range of our data, right? So this is considered as the outlier. This is also considered as the outlier, right? So these two are the outliers. Now what we should do is, first was the removal of the outlier, right? Now I have just considered two data, so 5 and 150, fine. But are they available only once or more than that? So what we can say? More than that means the way we have considered this 5% or 10% or whatsoever. Suppose for our application, we have considered that if outliers are more than say 25%, then we should have replace them by mean or median or mode or most similar data element. Got it? So here you can say I am only considering the data that is 5 and one is 150. So should we remove them because they are found as 2 only? So 2 means if we are having the data 100 also, then from 2 only 2 are outliers, so 2 by 100. So you can say only 2% of data is having outlier, so we can remove them, isn't it? But I have considered two data values, right? Two data values. I haven't said that this 5 is available only once in the data. 5 is available only once in the data and 150 is also available once in the data. If it is so, then we can say only two data, or you can say only two records are having the outlier, right? So what should we do? That this count we should have, isn't it? For 5 also, how many records are there? Where you can see outliers are there. So let us say that it is say in 20 records. And for this also, say it is in 20 records. See, this is just one example. Okay, don't make it fix. With this example, we can understand, isn't it? Okay, so say 20 records for 5 and 20 records for say 150. So what we can say is total 40 records are there. Instead of now 2, we can say total 40 records are there where we are having the outlier. So what we can say is this is 40%, right? Total outlier is of 40%. And as in the example we have considered that more than 25% of records are having outlier, then we should do the imputation. That is, we should replace the value using mean or median or mode or most similar data element, right, of that particular column only, right? In whatever column we could find the outlier, at that only will replace it. It is nothing like whole value is getting replaced. Fine. Wherever you could find the outlier, at that time only we should replace the data. Okay. So how to replace? For that we can say we can use mean or median or mode or most similar data value, right? So how to find that in Python? That is using the mean, median, mode, right? df.mean, df is our data frame, df.mean, df.median, df.mode. So that will give us. Will it give us the mean or median or mode of a particular column? No, it will not. It will give us the mean or median or mode of whole data set, right? Whole data set. That means it will give the mean for a particular column, right? And it will display. I'll show you that. Let us see that in our Python program so we can have the idea. Okay, so in previous lecture a bit we have seen for mean, median, mode. Let me recall you that where it is mean, right? Here it was that, right? No, mean is here only. Yeah, here this we have seen, right? So mean, if we want to find for a particular column, we have to use it as say df of that particular column name dot mean, then same way dot median, as well as same for mode. Yes, one thing which I would like to say you is we have seen this, right? That is mode. When we are only giving it as mode, what it considers that it gives the mode of row and column. We have yesterday seen that it is 0 and 150. So is it bimodal? It is bimodal only in the case that it is giving for row and column. So what we want to have is we want to have the replacement only for the column value, right? So for that we'll be getting it as mode of 0, right? Mode of 0. So we'll be able to replace with the proper mode of that particular column. Fine. That you should consider. Yeah. Now, so this is the mode. This will give us two value, that is say 0 and 4, and this will give us the value that is only 4. Okay. You can have the thing in your mind. Fine. Mode of 0 is required because we want to have the mode of that column only, not for that row and column. Okay. Some more detail I would like to say you before trying for replacement of missing values or outliers with mean, median and mode. Before that, let us see a bit required things. One or two we have already seen, but I would like to say you some more. Say display the number of rows and columns. For that, we should use df.info. Get the number of rows, we can use the len of df. Get the number of columns, that is len of df of columns. Get the number of rows and columns, that is df.shape. get the number of elements, that is df dot size. For series also, in some cases we are having the series. The way we are using the data frame here just now, there we can have the series. So get the number of elements, that is using the len of s or s dot size. Okay, let us see for data frame at least, say number of rows and columns we want to get. So we'll be using the df dot info. Let us run this. What we are getting for that? Say total 9 columns. Range index is from 0 to 397. That means 398 total elements are there. No. Total rows are there, right? 398 total rows are there. For the data columns, say column 0 is MPG, non-null count is 398, the D type, that is data type, is float 64, cylinders is having the integer 64 data type, displacement is having float 64. The way we can see here, one thing you can see is not null, it is giving us. For the displacement, it is 398 non-null. For horsepower, it is 392, and so it is said as it is having 6 missing values, right? Or you can say the null values, right? This is 398. For all other columns, we can say we are having the values, that is 398. And for this typical thing, it is saying that it is 392. Then we can say it is having the missing values, that is 6, isn't it? That is 6. Okay, so we can get the data type null, where you can say it is different from that of others. There we can say the null values are there. Otherwise, it gives us the non-null values. Len of df, right? Len of df, that is the number of rows we want to get. So for that, we can run this. And it is 398. You can see that here in range index, it has given us the 398 entries. Or otherwise, we can say it was 0 to 397. Fine. So now, df dot size. So for that, we can get the number of rows and number of columns, right? So it is 398 and 398 and it is 9, okay? It is having 398 rows and 9 columns, right? So this gives us row, this gives us column, fine? So now, if I want to get one of this, can I try for this? Zero. Got the row. If I try for column, that is if I give 1, can I get it as column? Yes. So if you want to get separately, we can say we'll be getting it as df dot shape of 0 for row, that is number of rows, and for what? For columns, we can say it is shape of 1, right? Number of columns. Okay. Now, dealing with missing values, you can say we have started with the outliers. Yes, but if we want to know the missing values are there, then what to do? That methods I would like to say, first of all, that is null. Is null is if the null values are available in the data set, not null, that is not null variable. Drop NA is we want to delete the records, where NA, that is not available, right? or you can say null values are there, right? Where NA is there. Such records will delete, or we can say will drop. Fill NA, that is fill the value where NA is there. Okay. Replace is where will replace the values, right? What sort of values, that depends. And interpolate is where we'll be giving some middle values. Middle means not the exact center, right? We say that if two values are there and we'll be able to interpolate in between values, we can say. So in between values we'll be able to put, right? So these are few methods to deal with the missing values. Okay, now let us again go to this. So mean, median, mode, that is known to us. We haven't yet seen the full method of, you can say, checking the outlier and replacing them. We have only seen that how to find mean, median and mode, right? We haven't yet seen the most similar element also. Fine. We have just seen the mean, median and mode. This we'll see bit later. Fine. Okay. So the next method which is available for outlier replacement, or you can say outlier detection and remediation, is capping. Capping. What is that? It is for the values that lie outside the 1.5 IQR. We can cap them by replacing those observations below the lower limit with the 5th percentile, and those lie above the upper limit with the 95 percentile. What do we want to say is from the 5th percentile to 95th percentile. That data is considered as the normal, right? Whatever is outside that, right? We say that 1.5 IQR. It is what? IQR is what? It is Q3 minus Q1, right? Multiply by 1.5. Whatever is that value, less than that or greater than that, whatever are the values that we will be considering as what? Outlier, right? So we'll cap it. How we'll cap it? That is less than the 5th percentile of the data, right? Less than the 5th percentile of the data, or otherwise with the greater than that of the 95th percentile. Whatever data is there, will replace that data with 5th percentile if for less, and 95th percentile if it is greater than that, right? I mean to say that, let us see here. Let us make one box. See, for box plot we can say this is the here it is having say 5th percentile, here it is having say 95th percentile, right? So what happened, that the data which is less than this, that will be having the value replacement that is of this 5th percentile, and the data which is greater than this, that will be replaced with the 95th percentile of the data. This is what is called capping. This is what is called as capping. That what we are trying to do is, we are capping and trying to make the outlier data as having the value which is in the general values, or you can say normal values, right? Typically we used to say that data whatever is not following the normal behavior, that means either greater than the normal data values or otherwise less than the normal data values, right? So for that, we'll replace those values with 5th percentile, or otherwise when the they are above the upper limit, then we'll replace that with the 95th percentile. Okay, so that is what is called as capping. Now let us see for the missing values also, and then after we'll see the Python program, so we can have the idea how we are doing that. Okay, so eliminate records having missing values. Missing values in a tolerable limit. Remove those records. Same as we can say for outliers. For outliers, we say that if it is say greater than 25%, then we should not remove them. Okay, so same thing we can apply for our application, and there we can say that if it is say greater than 30%, then we should not remove them. It is beyond the tolerable limit. So if it is beyond the tolerable limit, then we should not remove those records. But if it is inside the tolerable limit, we can remove them, right? Imputing missing values. Missing values are imputed by mean or median or mode. Same way for outliers. Similar types of observations, values are used for imputation. Like say in our records, if we are having the data like, you can say columns are there where you can say whatever are the columns. I am just showing you the values for those columns. Okay, here it is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4 and 5, right? Suppose this is given to us, and for other we are having the missing value where this is 1, this is 2, this is not available, right? Then after we can say, or let me just put it as underscore. You can understand, right? Then after 4 and then 5. So can you replace the value for this dash? Obviously you can, isn't it? See, I am showing you that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we are having one more row where you can say it is having say 1, 2 underscore 4, 5. So can you imagine that for this blank value we should have 3? Obviously yes. How did you find that? You have found that from the similar values, that here the missing value is there. So what you have done is you have tried to find the similar row for other values only, because for this it is not available, right? So for 1, 2, 4, 5, for those columns we are trying to find the values which are nearly equally available in other, actually not nearly equal, but they are equal. Okay, that is this one. And then after you can say that what we'll do is other things are same, so this also should be same, right? So that way we are doing, or otherwise similar values should be there. So the distance methods we can use, and after that according to that we can have the replacement. For example, let me say you may be having say value like 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so what is the case here, that for each and every value of the column we are having the distance 1. For this one, say 1, 2, here something should be there, 4, 5. Okay, so missing value is there over here. So what we are doing is, in the other row or record we can see that it is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how can you say that it is similar? It is not similar, right? Similar in the way it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can say that one value is not available, but other values are same, isn't it? Other values are same. So what you do is, there you can replace whatever is available here, that you can replace it here. But what about this? It is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How can you find that it is similar value? You can use the distance function, right? You can use the distance function. Like say, simple Manhattan distance, that is only difference is being taken. So 2 minus 1 is 1, 3 minus 2 is 1, 5 minus 4 is 1, 6 minus 5 also is 1. So for all other columns, the distance is 1. So for this particular missing value also, it should be having the distance as 1. Fine? It should be having the distance as 1. That's what we can think of. And we can place this value as what? What should it be? It is 3, because 2 minus 1 is 1, 3 minus 2 is 1, 4 minus 3 is also 1, 5 minus 4 is 1, and 6 minus 5 is 1. So distance we should have is 1. So that replacement we can definitely do, and so for this we will replace it as 3. Getting it? So we can say that for similar types of data, that is if data is same for all other columns, will replace with whatever value available in the not null column. But if we do not have such thing, we'll find the distance. Distance you already know in maths, you may have used it as Euclidean distance, right? Under root of x1 minus x2 whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square, typically we used to say, right? So that distance or any other distance method you can use, right? Any other distance method you can use to find what are the similar type of data records available, and from that whatever is the distance, whatever is similar for all, same way we can replace for that missing value. Got it? Estimate missing values. If there are similar data points as missing values, then the values from those points will be used as missing values, as I just told you. And the second thing is, we can say for finding similar data points, distance function is used, right? So you can say whatever this example we have seen here, they are the examples for explaining you these points, right? Or if you want to say, I can put it here only, so you will not have any confusion. Okay. Let me put it here. Before explaining a particular topic, we could give the example, right? That way we have seen. So here we consider only by mean, median, mode, right? Here we consider estimate missing values, that is by similar data points, or you can say that same value is there, then you can definitely replace. But if it is similar, that is using the distance function, we are able to understand that it is similar, then we can replace with that distance, right? So let us see first the programs for this, then after we'll again come here. Few of the things we'll see in detail in a particular chapter we'll see, but at least something we should know, right? For dealing with the missing values, we have seen few methods, right? Is null, not null, drop NA, fill NA, replace, interpolate, right? Few of them let us see here. df dot is null dot sum, that is we want to get the count of missing values in the data, right? So let me run this. What it is giving me, that mpg 0, cylinder 0, displacement 0, horsepower 6, but all other are 0, right? That means in horsepower we are having 6 missing values, fine. Now what I do is, instead of this I'm trying for not null. If I try for is null, I'll be getting 6 in horsepower. But if I try for not null and dot sum, what it will give me is not null rows, right? That is 398, 398, 398. In horsepower, we are having 392, right? All other values are null, right? Okay. For this column, only the null values are there, right? Not for whole record. So what should we do is we should replace that. How? How we should replace that? That is using say mean or mode or median, or otherwise estimate the value, that is using same value in other records, or otherwise similar value, that is using the distance function. Okay. Now let me show you the example where you can say that we are replacing the missing values. Okay. Or you can say we are dropping the records where the missing values are there. Okay. So first of all, let me show you the data frame. Okay. So this one, what's new in that? Yes, but I would like to show you that this is 398 rows and 9 columns, right? It was there before also. So what's new? But you should show this way, that is before applying any particular operation on the data frame, what you should do is show the original one. We used to use the print and that particular variable. Why? Because before applying any operation, you should show this is the original variable. Then after apply the operation, so you can say that that operation, and then after the modified value, right? So this is way we will do. This is the original data set where it is having 398 rows and 9 columns. Now what we do is say dp is equal to df. Okay, that is only for you can say temporary transfer, and I want to show the original data also and the modified data also. So I have assigned the value of df to dp. It is only a copy, okay, nothing more than that. For I in df dot columns, I in df dot columns, we want to iterate our data frame. So we are considering the df dot columns. Now what we are checking is if df of I is null, dot sum is greater than 0. What we have done for this, if it is this, that means what? It is having the missing values available. We have seen that is null. Yeah, this one. Okay, is null dot sum. Then what it was giving us? It was giving us the missing value for that particular column, isn't it? So here, what we are doing is for that particular column only we are trying that if it is greater than 0, then what we'll be doing is dp is equal to df of I dot drop na. Will remove what? Whatever is available in this, right? So we'll remove that, drop those NA values, okay? And then after, let us say that it is printing DP, okay? Here only available in one column, so it doesn't matter. Otherwise, what we have to do is, whatever we are passing here, there also it should have the null, isn't it? We should check it out. And what? We should modify that data frame also, right? If it is there in other values, in other columns, then we should have that. Just now we know that it is only there in one column, so I have not modified our df dp, but only we are doing the drop na. Okay, so after that, if we do the print dp, what we'll be getting is our full data frame of what? Of this column only, right? This column only. Which column? It is horsepower, right? It is horsepower. Fine. Let us do that. Why it is only horsepower? Because here for only one column the missing value is there. So dp is modified only where it is having the replacement, right? and that is for horsepower. So it is having the value for horsepower only. If any other column is also having the missing values, then we could be having the DP modified, right? There we should consider the concatenation of all such replacements. Okay, that we'll see a bit later. But how you can do that? For that, you can say that you should have the data set wherein the missing value is available in other column also. So how can we try? In our data set, there is missing value only in one column, that is horsepower. So what should we do? We want to replace in other columns too. So we have to open our data set, replace those values with NA. How you can do that? It's very simple. Is you can say that you have to open your data set in your text mode. That is over here with Jupyter Notebook, or you can say using your any other editor, text editor. Now, wherever the data value is not available, where it is, you need to find that first of all, and then after, here you can say, right? Comma, two commas are there. You can see that. And here you have to put the value. No. Here is the null value available. If it is this, that means null value is available here. If you want to create the null value here in other rows or other records, you have to create it here like this. So you can say here one more is that, then you have to remove this one, right? Are you getting it? This way, not more than that, fine? So what you do is, now if I want to create for this one, I can say I'll remove this. Will not put a comma and remove that. It is better just to remove that particular value. So what we are doing is, here I have just now created in the same column, null value I have created. If I want to create in say first column, I should remove this value, right? I should remove the value here. Okay, you can save that, then you can apply the things what we are doing. It will actually create the null value in that particular column, then after you will be able to replace it. Got it? Now you can say actually you are modifying your data set, so you will not get the standard results. Yes, but if we want to experiment something with our data set, we have to do this, isn't it? You may not modify your original data, but at least you can have your modified CSV file. Say you can also always have the versions of your CSV file, and then you can use. If you want for experimentation, you can remove say few rows. You can say you can have your data, simple Excel file you can generate for simple experimentation, whether it is giving you proper results or not. Say you can have say 20 rows data set. You can create the Excel file, you can save it as CSV file. Then after try on that. So you can have the idea that what results you are getting. Say this much big data set is there. So when you print say DF, you may not be able to understand that where it is getting replaced. You will have to find it, isn't it? Where the null value is there. That also you can do through the programming only. But very simply is you can have the smaller data set. Smaller means you from this also you can have the few rows copied, say 25 rows you can copy in one CSV file, and then after you can try on that, create the null values, create whatever is there, create the outliers, whatever no, but we can say create the outliers, and then after try to apply the algorithm on that. What we can say is say capping or say missing value replacement, whatever things are there, right? So you can create the things yourself if your data set is not having those values. For experimentation, isn't it? We will have to do that. So will you modify the whole data set? No, you may not modify your whole data set, but for particular problem statement, you can modify your data set, and then after you can apply the algorithm on that. Okay, that you can definitely do. So just now I'm not saving this. You can have different versions. Okay, you can have the different versions, and you can try for that. Whose versions? Your data set version, where you will modify the data set, you will save it, so you can have the smaller data set for experimentation. Otherwise you will have to show me the result in your whole data set, but 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 modified version, not for say 10 15 rows, but for your, say, for this data set you can say 398 rows. Okay, in that you can do some modification, have the idea what you have replaced, and then try to get whether you are getting the same result or not. Fine, typically we used to do, isn't it? So for small data set, when you are doing that, you can understand that, and then after you can apply for your this say 398 or more than that rows data set. Fine. So this is for a drop NA. Yeah, one thing is, if you want to remove the missing values records, what we can do is we can do the df dot drop na, right? Here what we have done, that was the, for the particular column we are saying that, right? For that particular column we have considered, but that is what it is, removing the records where in this particular column when the NA is available, say for cylinder or displacement, for that only it is doing the drop NA. But here if we are doing say df dot drop NA, that means wherever the NA is available in any particular column, it will remove those columns. Fine. So say for one record we are having the null values in say displacement, that it will remove. If we are having the null values in say cylinder, that also it will remove. So if you can see here 6 rows were there or 6 records were there, here also 6 records were there, then it will remove 12 records. If they are different, they are not common for the null values, right? So you can say that if this is the case, that uniquely they are having the null values, then you can say that 6 records for this particular column and 6 records for this particular column will be removed, right? According to that, whole record is being removed. It is nothing like that particular column is being removed. Column is not at all removed, okay? Column is there, but the record wherein the null value is there, that will be removed. Got it? Now, so after dropping, you can say that we can print that dropped. So we'll be able to have the idea that it is having 392 rows. What was there before? That was 398 rows. Whatever changes we are doing, that we are storing in the DP, and then after, if I print DF again, then it is 398 rows. So where is the replacement? We have done the replacement. Where it is not available in the data frame. So it is useless? No, it is not. We have saved that result in DP variable, so there it is available, right? It is not going to modify your data set. Okay, if you remove something that is only available in your program, in your output, right? It is not going to modify your original data set. Whatever variables you are using here, those only will be getting changed. Got it? When you are opening your text editor and modifying, it is modifying your own data set. Okay. Now let us impute the missing values by mean. For that, we can say that missing column is equal to horsepower. Now for I in missing column, df dot log is location, we can say, right? Df dot log colon comma I dot is null. We are checking for if it is null, then what we do is we are replacing that with the mean of it, right? And count of null values after imputation. We are replacing the missing values, that is null, with the mean of that particular column. And after that, we are counting how many numbers of missing values are available. Let me run this. We know that 6 missing values were there in horsepower, right? Now, after doing the replacement with mean, yeah, it was here, right? Mean we can say. After doing the replacement with mean, we should have the idea that is how many null are now available. Fine. So when we run this, what we'll get is, oh, 0, 0, 0, 0. Horsepower was having 6 missing values, right? But now it is 0. Oh, so the replacement is done, right? So the replacement is done. Got it? If you want to replace that with mode, we just have to use it as mode, or you can say mode of mode of 0, right? You can try for that, and we can say that also will be having the missing values are being removed. Fine. Again, if we print the DF, it is 390 rows, 398 rows. Here I haven't assigned it to DP also. Still, it does not have any effect. What to do? If you want to have the save of it, you can save it here, right? You can save it. That is, if you want that one process is done, after that you want to apply for second process, then for the result of that process, save that in other variable. Then only you can apply for the same thing, that is processed data. Otherwise, when you apply for again DF, you will have the whole data available. Fine. So take care of that. That's all for today.